Super Tuesday, day after the night before?
Yeah, more Super Tuesday, I'm afraid, Stuart. Lasting damage for Romney, that's what the Washington Post has headlined on. They say the real takeaway here isn't that he won the most delegates, it's that he hasn't won the argument. At this stage of the contest, it's almost unprecedented for the leading contender to still have so few delegates. Should have cleaned up really at least half of the amount that he needs to win the nomination by this point. He hasn't. So, it just looks pretty bad for Romney here. They say none of the questions about whether or not he can really connect with voters have been answered, and that's his real problem. They say lots of the debate has been about social issues, about abortion, about contraception, about religion, but these aren't really the points where Romney is falling down, although they are issues on which Conservative voters often prefer to pick someone else. But the real problem is the economy, and also whether or not he can connect with working class voters and make them believe he cares about their economic plight. Of course, he's become symbolic of being the president of the rich, president of Bain Capital, the firm that he used to work for, they call him in the Washington Post. And they say, he's attacked union bosses, which played badly in Ohio. He denounced the auto bailout, which played badly in Michigan. He's done, lots of things that make working class voters feel that he just doesn't care about them. The more comfortable, more middle class voters safely pick him. But it's in the more blue collar areas where he's doing really badly. And the NY Times says that, as I was saying, despite a lot of this debate being about religious and issues and things like contraception, the vast majority of voters polled said the economy was their top issue for this election.
It's the economy, stupid, as they always say. Politics and pollsters, they did turn out to be right, though, didn't they? They said Ohio was going to be the crucial one.
Yeah, the Christian Science Monitor has done a couple of interesting reports from Ohio about just why that did turn into the front line last night / this morning. They say it's because they have every possible kind of voter. They've got industrial, urban, rural, high income, low income, high tech, low tech industries. So they've got just about every demographic. And they say that it's in the suburbs where you're more comfortably off voters where Romney was doing quite well, although he still didn't really inspire any enthusiasm. Most of the people voting for him told the reporter they would just pick anyone that they thought could beat Obama. Whereas Santorum did inspire some real enthusiasm and passion, their reporter says, mostly among blue-collar workers who weren't that interested in the kind of social issues he's been talking about. They were interested in his direct appeal to help them financially, his kind of populist claim to help them get jobs.
Now, Santorum, he's done pretty well out of this, has he? But he can't win.
No, exactly. And that's what the Washington Post is pointing out in another article. The numbers just aren't there. He physically can't really win enough delegates to get this nomination. So it's going to be Romney's in the long run, but Santorum and Gingrich, neither of them look like they're looking to pull out. They're continuing to campaign for that second place, they say. Both have been saying throughout the process that if only they were given a clean slate to run against Romney, they'd pick up all the Conservative voters. But Santorum really has had that clean slate in recent weeks. Gingrich has really fallen back in terms of media attention, and yet he still can't push him out of the race. So he's certainly not going to be able to beat Romney when he still can't push the third man out. Gingrich, of course, won in his home state, Georgia, and the New York Times is reporting he's using his popularity in the South as a platform to keep making a case for why he thinks he should still stay in the race.
A lot of people, of course, saying it's all to the party's disadvantage in the November general election when it comes up.
Yes, indeed. The Huffington Post have headlined a piece, Anger, Fear and the GOP's Implosion. They say it's not necessarily the subject of the debates, all those conversations about especially contraception and abortion and that kind of thing, that are putting off voters. It's the tone of the candidates. It's their anger and fear especially. It's their going to the lowest populist common denominator that upsets people. As Obama learnt in 2008, it isn't really anger that motivates voters to go to the polls. It's hope. You need some more positive campaigning. And Obama, of course, is probably the person happiest with the result of Super Tuesday, at least according to a Daily Beast piece. They say, of course, he sort of got in the way completely there by ordering a press conference that made him look like a serious, sober president yesterday and made the rest of them look like adolescents pushing around a playground by comparison.
Feels like he's rolling in it, doesn't it? Elena, thanks very much. Elena with the international papers here on France 24.